Hey, Max here, and I got a hot topic to talk to you Star Wars fans about, and it's a warning. It's a warning about what they're going to do to Solo, how they're marketing Solo, how all the YouTubers, how the premiere is going to go, the review embargo, social media reactions, and Rotten Tomatoes. And we're going to talk about all of that and how this is a general warning. This is not just for my normal viewers, and I appreciate you, regular viewers. This is a warning to everyone. Don't fall for the marketing campaign because it's junk. And I'm going to get on to that, but I want to give the disclaimer first. And this is also going to be about Therm Scissor Punch. And you guys know about Therm, but this is a warning about him too. So, give a disclaimer. Warning! This video contains rumors, speculation, strong opinions, and a Mad Max. And I'm mad because they're trying to trick us again, like all the junk they did before The Last Jedi. This is the best script ever written for a Star Wars movie. Okay, really? And Therm Scissor Punch is one of the character names. The Last Jedi. This is the best movie since Empire Strikes Back for Star Wars. We all know how that ended up. I think that's a picture of part of Therm on the left. Maybe, I'm not sure. And then Lando. Okay, so this is a consumer warning to the general movie-going public. Disney and critics can no longer be trusted. And they are gearing up to trick you into seeing Solo. Don't fall for it and boycott hard. And I'm going to get on to this why you should not fall for it. This is a warning about movie premieres and social media reactions. How it's just another way for movie companies to control and trick the public. And Disney is the pioneer of the social media reaction embargo for all their YouTubers and movie review friends. And if you don't toe the line and do the way they want it on the social media reactions, you're not invited to the next one. And in the age of the internet and social media, if you are a day late, you're irrelevant. That's reality. News happens so much. So if you're a day late, if you're not part of this group, it's even more baloney than review embargoes and movie premieres. The social media reaction trend. Big companies are doing it. It's not just movies. It's for all kind of reviews on the internet, YouTube, and written reviews. It's another way to control. In the age of social media, reviews should be taken very loosely, and they're made by social media influencers. So that's what we're going to talk about. Movie premieres, social media reactions, review embargoes, Rotten Tomatoes, and social media influencers are not reviewers. Their reviews should be taken loosely, and the public is finally wising up to the quid pro quo relationships with big corporations and personalities that make their living on social media. And don't you forget that. When they try to defend themselves and go on rant videos about how it's impossible for reviews to be bought, that's an oversimplification, and don't treat your audience this like they're dummies. Don't treat them like that, because nothing's black and white. There's lots of ways to influence and lean reviews, and I've said before, you're not going to polish a turd. So if a movie is horrible, I don't think they're going to go that far. But a good movie or an average movie, they can definitely overhype. And overhyping movies is millions and millions of dollars. And the bigger the movie, the more likely. And I'm not saying all movies are bought, but the big manufactured Disney movies, there's a strong argument for bias and conflicts of interest. So, as they gear up for the movie season for Disney, Avengers Infinity War. Now for that one, I don't think you need. It sells itself. But for Star Wars, I think you're seeing the cracks in this relationship with movie reviewers and big companies like Disney, because there was such a divide in what the critics thought and what the audience thinks. And then to blame the community and call them racist and male chauvinists, they're attacking fandom. There are racists and male chauvinists that don't like The Last Jedi, but there's a lot that have nothing to do with that, and it's an attack on your audience. So as they gear up for Infinity War, Solo, and all the other Disney movies coming out, keep this in mind. This is a warning. Buying reviews is real. When you talk about access to content, exclusives, and career advancement in entertainment, and there is a revolution in the movie news and reviews happening right here on YouTube. Real reviews, real opinions, and real reactions. Can you believe it? It took The Last Jedi for this to happen. Now, years ago, there was a crackdown on reviewers not actually saying that it was a sponsored and paid review. But guess what? Movie companies and reviewers found their ways around it. Influence and favors and career advancement and access. And access is the most important thing. I think access is more important than actual literal money exchanging hands. Access is the most important thing when you make your money on the internet and you want people to follow you everywhere. If you're a day late, you're irrelevant. Okay. The turning point was The Last Jedi. Never has it been more evident of a divide between real reactions and opinions that are swayed by influence, money, and egomaniacs. Now, I'm on the internet too, but I started my channel. I'm a fan. And I'm not saying I'm the revolution. I'm saying there's other channels out there that are giving real opinions. I'm not saying I'm one of them. I'm just saying it's happening. I think people are fed up with the relationships between reviewers, finger quotes, and companies. And that's why everything's failing. No true criticism and just patting each other on the back, and you get garbage McDisney products. And that's movie community or movie companies, what they're putting out. And that's also toy and merchandise. That's why Toys R Us is going under. There hasn't been enough true criticisms of products for a while. We had some great reviewers in the past for movies, Siskel and Ebert. That time is over. YouTube is a great platform, but you also have to understand what's really going on behind the scenes. Smiling and everything shiny and happy when you're trying to get people to follow you, you got to put it in perspective. They're making money by you looking at that, and it's not as, and it's in the past it's been there too, but it's more of an argument now. This needs to be talked about now. So, this is a warning to all you that are going to watch John CAMPEA, Collider, Jeremy Johns, Chris Stuckman, Beyond the Trailer, SCHMOES, Nose, Screen Junkies, and all the others that have access to exclusive first looks. I remember Black Panther. Now, I really enjoyed that movie, and I think that's one of the movies that actually met expectations. Certainly, it was overhyped, but it was a very great. It was one of my favorite Marvel movies in recent years. So I think it lived up to that. But if you, I don't disagree with everything CAMPEA says, but, and I still watch his videos, and I'll admit that here. The reason he deserves the criticism is when he does super chats where people pay him to give their honest opinion, and then he goes on a rant saying that the review community is infallible and it's not possible for reviews to be bought, and it's an oversimplification to say money exchanges hands. So that's where I have an issue with him. Do what you're going to do, but don't be disingenuous and claim it's impossible. And that's where I start. When The Last Jedi came out, And there was a divide in the fans and the critics. And when he got on there and gave a 20-minute rant about how it's impossible, that's where I said, you know what, I've had enough. Because I've felt this way for him for years, but then to be so disingenuous to say it's impossible, that's where there's a problem. Be a social media influencer, but then don't make money off your fans to answer a question and then give a disingenuous rant. That's how I feel. All right, and they are more concerned with keeping their relationships with big companies than you and your hard-earned money. I take reviews seriously because you have a responsibility to the hard-earned. The people that go to the movies pay for their tickets. These people do not. They very rarely pay for their tickets. And sometimes that's the only entertainment you have. That's your escapism from real life. And that's another reason you don't need to be pushing all kinds of stuff in there that doesn't relate to the story or benefit the story. Going back to social media reaction baloney, it gives big movie companies complete control over first reactions. And this is a major trend, and this is something that makes me really mad because it's becoming more and more at the Disney movie premieres, like a Disney park event with big set pieces, cameras, red carpets. You get to sit by all these famous people. It's even if you don't intend to have a bias, can you imagine how hard it would be, even if you're not intentionally biased, being part of that party? So to say it's impossible, that's where I have a problem, because it is a big draw. All these social media influencers with their comments, the social media embargo before the review embargo is really a big issue right now. Because basically it's a contest to see who could give the most overhyped reaction to end up as a quote on the back of the Blu-ray box. And don't tell me that's not what it's about. That's what it's about. You want to have the most catchy, overhyped reaction to end up on the back of the Blu-ray box and get exposure. And then if you do give a general criticism, movie companies that are part of this relationship have the right to say, no, your reaction is too much like a review. You should take down your post. Or worse, if you continue to post reviews instead of overly positive social media reactions, we will not invite you to the future. Now, one of the movies that I think was very overhyped was Thor Ragnarok. Now, I really enjoyed it, but they went crazy for that movie. This is the funniest Marvel movie ever. And I still really enjoy it, but there's definitely flaws there. And after repeat viewings, it's less enjoyable. So they overhyped that, and Last Jedi was really overhyped. I think that's why there was such a strong backlash, is because they overhyped it. If they gave general criticisms and gave the flaws right away, I don't think people would still be talking about it. I'm going to get to another picture here. And Infinity War is coming out at the end of this month. And I am really looking forward to that. But can you believe what the social media reactions are going to be for that? All the fanboys of these social media influencers and Disney really need a reality check of your own. Stop buying everything that's sold to you or told to you. Don't buy it all. Disney. Now I'm going to get on to the Disney and critics marketing approach for Solo Star Wars story. And this is what really started this hot topic, because I already see the way they're selling this to the general audiences, and they're trying to trick us again. And the way they're trying to trick us is focus on everyone else except Han and Alden Ehrenreich. Christian Harloff on Jedi Council recently was saying, let the other characters take you on a ride and enjoy yourself. And how many times do we hear I heard this is the best Star Wars script ever. They also said early reactions is for Last Jedi is the best since Empire Strikes Back. Don't forget that. It's the same type of marketing campaign. And press packets and PR people, it just screams what they're telling their review friends. This is how you give a criticism but still promote the movie. Is say focus on the other characters and they're going to take you on a story. John, Patreon Overlord Cam Girl CAMPEA started to say recently last few weeks, I heard some people say it's actually really good. Okay, what people? Yeah, you're not biased. Who did you hear it from? Disney? Lucas PR people? Or maybe even, and I'm sure his wife is a nice person, but there's a Hasbro and a toy connection there. So there's another reason he gets invited to multiple premieres and brags about it. I don't think that's great to your fandom either, is, you know, if you have the right to go to a movie premiere, go ahead, go. But then say, I went to 3 or 4, and then give not an completely unbiased, or there's no way anyone could be completely unbiased. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying to say it's impossible, that's disingenuous. And then to say, oh, I went to 3 or 4 times, 3 or 4 movie premieres. When you have your audience that you're talking to is hard-earned, going to work every day and paying for their movie tickets, I have a huge problem with that. All right. So it's starting and they're gearing up, and we need to gear up too to boycott hard. The great Solo shilling is coming. They are trying to convince you not to think about Han and you will enjoy the movie. Wait until the next trailer comes out. It's going to focus on Lando and other characters while Han takes the back seat. And that's their marketing strategy, to convince and trick people to buy tickets to a movie of the characters, for the characters that are not Han Solo, in a Han Solo movie. It's called Solo. Can you believe it? That's their strategy. Don't forget who you see on the Blu-ray. Collider and CAMPEA. All they say is, I didn't expect to be on the special features in the documentary, but were you really surprised either? Or are you, the viewer, surprised? Okay. And then here's something else for you to chew on. Okay? You know how much everyone is talking about Therm Scissor Punch? I'm here to tell you it's a marketing tactic. His name is intentionally dumb, so you stop talking about how lame Alden is as Han. What are you talking about in Solo this last week? Therm Scissor Punch. You may not realize how deceptive marketing tactics can be, and how much smoke and mirrors and misdirection marketing can be. I do not believe they would intentionally name a character with such a stupid name if they did not have ulterior motives. And their motives now are to have you think about everything else, including a horribly named, weird new character named Therm Scissor Punch. So you don't think about Han. Are you thinking about Han? No, you're thinking about this guy in the middle named Therm Scissor Punch. When you think about buying your tickets to this movie, don't forget, should you be buying a ticket to a movie for other characters when it's called Solo, a Star Wars story? No, it's a failure if Han is not in it. And they shouldn't be marketing to the general public saying, let the other characters take you on a ride when it's called Solo. Don't fall for marketing. When they show you trailer 2 with Lando front and center finally speaking, there is a reason that he did not speak in the first 2 trailers. They're saving it for the final trailer when they focus on Lando. If you want Lando front and center, make a Lando Star Wars movie. You are hiding Han, and there is a reason. If they show too much of him, you might fall for their tactics and buy a ticket on May 25th, 2018. So may the 4th be with true Star Wars fans and boycott hard. Don't fall for marketing tactics. I don't think they're going to show much more of Han in the next trailer. It's all going to be on the new characters. Okay, so here's Alden getting ready to take a backseat to Lando in the trailers for trailer 2, the official trailer of Solo's Star Wars story. I guarantee it. They're not going to be showing more of him. They're going to be showing other characters. And the boycott begins May 4th, 2018. I did not forget, and I'm working on things, viewers, and I need your guys' help. So we're going to be boycotting hard and not giving in to this marketing campaign and junk. Look at that Han. He looks clueless. And they are clueless too if they think that people are just going to show up opening day. The other marketing campaign they're doing now is it's tracking for 150 million opening weekend. Don't believe that either. That's one article and everyone's running with it. That, and I heard it's actually pretty good. It's trickery. Okay, now let's get to the comment. And I appreciate all comments, and I don't need to be told I'm right all the time. I like to view positive and critical comments of me. I enjoy constructive criticism. Okay, now this is about my last hot topic, George Lucas, and what he really my opinion of what he really thinks about Star Wars in this next trilogy. And the White Slavers comments. So, if he cared, eGallon42, thanks for your comment. If he cared, he wouldn't have sold it. Now, I completely disagree there. It's much more complicated. He had a history, a lot of people at Lucasfilm that their jobs depended on it, and he would try to do the best to prepare Star Wars for future generations. He's towards the last part of his life. He would have taken 10 more years. He set up everything he could. He signed all the actors. He had a template. He signed on a writer. He did everything he could to hand it off to Lucasfilm. And then instead of doing the follow through, they dunked it in the trash. They did not follow his outline at all. The White Slavers comment is so old, dude. You love to stir the pot. You know what? The series is called Hot Topic. Yes, that's what we do here. We talk about hot topic issues. We try to do it fair, try to talk about, and that's why I included your comment, because I want some other opinions on here too. But I think he cared a lot, and that's why he sold it. Because there was a lot more at stake than just him. He knows how Hollywood works. I think he still underestimated Disney and what they would do. And you're just cherry picking to cater to your argument. No, I included every comment he's made since the Force Awakens came out in that video. I did not cherry pick. I pulled every comment he made to discuss that. So I disagree with you there too. But I still appreciate your comment. And I want to remind you, don't be silent now. Rant on, my friends, because this is the most important time in Star Wars movies history. They underestimate us, and if we don't talk about it, it's not enough to just, let it go, because they own our fandom. Disney does not let any property go. If it starts failing, they'll vault it and bring it back in 20, 30 years. So that's why it's important, because they're not taking their greedy hands off of it. Star Wars is never going to be owned by anyone else. It's not going back to George Lucas. Disney is going to own Star Wars forever unless something drastic happens to Disney. So that's why it's so important. And that's why we need to talk about it. And this is where I want to remind you, you don't have to follow me anywhere. Patreon stinks. Following is creepy. And movie talk cam girls are annoying. That's a new trend in movie news and reactions, is movie talk cam girls working for tips with super chats. Lame. Just talk to your fans. You don't have to do anything like that. If you want to talk to me, comment below. I'll see you on the next hot topic. Bye.